Welcome to episode 5 of MeatballCraft. Today we are going to be going to the Abyssal Dreadlands and hopefully making the really scary V-shroom which we started last episode. To get to the Dreadlands we have a ritual to do, and this involves the eye from the dragon that we fought, the power stone that we found, and the transmutation gem. So if I just right click, we should have enough PE to do this. Now we have the Azura's dreaded gateway key. So if I right click over here, we should be able to make the gateway to the Dreadlands. And here we are. It's very, very red. I will have to mark this on the map as a portal, as I don't think I'll be able to find it otherwise. Yeah, here we are. This is the Abyssal Dreadlands. And once again, we have things to do staffs of rending with and other things. I think if I kill these, we should be able to get some shards. Yes, dreaded shard of Abyssal Night. And to make into actual dreadium, we can use the transmutator, which we can make like so. So this isn't too far. I think we need to get some more refined corallium. We just need to make the V-shroom. We just need 4. So this is already 2, so it shouldn't take us too long to get the rest of the dreadium ingots that we need. While we're out and about, we are also looking for these. These ritual pedestals will have these dreading warp cleansers on, which remove 20 permanent warp, which is what we'll need for when we use the very scary V-shroom. These also always have dark Ethaxium bricks on them, which we can put into the scanner, which I have, so hopefully we'll be able to find more of these and get rid of as much warp as possible. A little bit of time later, and I have 15 of the dreadium warp cleansers, so that should be enough to keep us going. So now I just need to get enough refined corallium to make the crystallizer, make the dreadium. Oh, look, I think there's another one there as well. They were fairly easy to find after a while. The scanner didn't really help. Now I'm looking for liquid corallium, but I think now would be a really good time to try out my red matter morningstar. So if I right click, it cuts out a nice big area, and look, we already found some liquefied corallium ore, so it's working perfectly. So I'm not sure whereabouts to hit to get it in the same level, not quite there. But if we continue like this, we should be able to get plenty of liquid corallium. I've now got 20 liquid corallium. I also found some extra warp cleansers on the way back to the portal, so this should be enough to get us started. And it's not a crystallizer, it's a transmutator. The crystallizer is what's made of dreadium. If I put the liquefied corallium ore into the induction smelter with some cinnabar, which has EMC in this pack, we can get 3 corallium, refined corallium per ore, which is pretty nice. We can now make the transmutator. The transmutator takes blaze rods as fuel, and if I put the dreaded shards of Abyssal Night in and wait a long time, we will get a dreadium ingot. And we only need 4 of these to make the really scary V-shroom. Next, we need liquid antimatter, and that is to get the anti-beef and the anti-chicken. This is found underground in corallium-tainted swamp biomes, or corallium-infested swamp biomes, which I have put into this nature's compass, which should point us in the correct direction. And here's the swamp. Ooh, there's some weird monsters here, aren't there? What's that? A sludge lord. Ooh. Well, is he from AbyssalCraft, or is he from... Oh, he's from some undead rising. Well, he's dead. After much searching with the morningstar, I have found some liquid antimatter, and I have collected a bucket of it. So if I take this upstairs, or out of the big holes that I built, like so, and find a chicken, like this for example, if we use the antimatter on it, we now have an anti-chicken, and if we kill that, we get the anti-chicken that we need. So now we have everything that we need to be able to infuse the really scary V-shroom. To be able to get the really scary V-shroom, we need to get a scary V-shroom, and to make that is very simple. We just need to put a V-shroom in a crucible with Vitium, which is the taint aspect. So if I throw Nether wart in, we should have 30 now, and if I chuck in the V-shroom, we now have a scary V-shroom. Okay, I have set up the infusion altar with the crafting recipe. I have 40 dreadium here, and I have 100 ignis here. If I right click on this, it should work. It says it's stable, so I think the zombie skulls are doing a good job. So if I should just right click, okay, on this. Okay, I'm not quite sure how this works, so, and we've got more warp effects. Maybe these are too close. I'll try moving them out and then I'll give it a go. The Thaumonomicon says we need a casting tool to be able to activate the runic matrix, so I think that means we need to make the caster gauntlet, which seems fairly easy, so I'll do that and hopefully that'll work. So now, if I right click on this with my gauntlet, it works. I think it's working. Now it's working. And we now have one scary V-shroom, or really scary V-shroom. There's no time at the present, so let's just use it. I've gained warp and a lot of research, and my sanity, yeah, I'm pretty mad, so let's use these. Okay, it's going down. No, I'm still pretty mad. Yeah, I don't know how much of, maybe that's all temporary warp, I'm not sure. So we're going to make some sanitizing soaps as well to clear out the rest of the warp. I think some of the essences are wrong in this pack because a book's got 17 metallum, which doesn't seem to make any sense to me. If we use 75 cognito, 75 ordo, 50 victus, and 50 avialis, and throw in a block of flesh, we should get a sanitizing soap. That should help get rid of some of the warp that we have. Hopefully some of the sanitizing soap will help clear up some of the rest of the warp that we have. Oh, do I just hold it? I don't know how long this lasts. I don't know if I can... Okay, I've lost warp. There we go. Oh yeah, so a little bit of the warp's gone. I don't know if that other warp is temporary warp or not. It might be permanent warp. So I've accidentally thrown my pickaxe in the crucible. So now we're using the red morning star. On our search to get rid of warp, we're going to see if we can find the Omathol warp cleanser, which it doesn't say it drops into the Abyssal Wasteland, but either way, if we're going to make it, we can make liquid pee like that. We might need to get into modular machinery to be able to do this, but we also need access to Omathol. We've already got annoying amounts of warp, so we might as well continue with MeatballCraft, and that means we need to go to Omathol. So we need to upgrade the Necronomicon, and I also want to upgrade the Sacrificial Altar and my Staff of Rending to be able to do that. So that's the next plan. Also, it won't stop raining, so we'll do that, and I'll see you back when we have gathered the ingredients to upgrade the Necronomicon. With enough dread fragments, we can combine these with the Dreadlands essence and to get skin of the Dreadland, which we can combine with our Abyssal Wasteland Necronomicon to make the Dreadlands Necronomicon, which does keep the PE, thank goodness. So if I get some Dreadlands cobblestone, we can go over to near the portal where there shouldn't be any enemies because I've put some mega torches down again. And if we just make a altar like we have done several times before, right click with the Necronomicon, and now it should be fine. So if I do this, shadow gem and 3 dread fragments, we should be able to make the upgraded Staff of Rending, like so. And this should get us the updated Sacrificial Altar, like so. To get to Omathol, we need the Dread Plagued Gateway Key, which is made like this. It seems to be a boss drop potentially, so it's not a boss drop. We make the 2 parts and then we do what it says here, which is craft the 2 parts of the altar and right click in the Dreadlands Mountain at Y40. So we'll do that. So we need to make the altar of Chargaroth on the bottom and top, and to make those is very simple. Just need some dread cloth and some dreadium, and then the altar requires this dread key and some more dreadium. So that's very simple, we can get that done. We just need to wait for the PE. It both require full PEs, so that's going to take a really long time. Hopefully the warp doesn't get too bad in that time. I have thought of something, and if this works I'll be very pleased, but I'll also feel very stupid. So currently we are full on warp, so if I use these, oh yes, it's going down now. Okay, all the warp's now gone. We don't need to go to Omathol. All we needed was these Abyssal Wasteland warp cleansers. What I got confused with is the Dreadland ones remove 20 permanent warp. These ones remove 20 temporary and normal warp, and we were full of normal warp. So all we needed to do was go to the Abyssal Wasteland and find some of these, and now the warp is gone. I've got a few extra now in case the warp level gets higher when I go back to the Abyssal Wastelands, but it means we don't need to do Omathol yet. It means we can get on with my other plans. And now we're not crazy. Those other things consist of upgrading the storage to AE2, which now we can do without being interrupted by Eldritch Guardians and invisible spiders all the time. To begin with, I have set up automatic charged Certus Quartz. Certus Quartz comes out of this drawer and is put into the charger, and there's a filter on this item conduit which goes for charged Certus Quartz, which is extracted into this drawer. This just makes it a bit easier to get Fluix crystals, which we'll need, and we can just chuck a bunch of Certus Quartz in here and it will automatically be turned into charged Certus Quartz by itself. We can use the Fluix crystals to make inscribers. There are 5 different processes in this pack, so we want to make 2, 3, 4, 5 at least, plus another 5 to make the other parts, and then 5 more for silicon. I've actually made too many because these 2 require resonating crystals and speculation cores, but they do not require the printed logic circuit sort of thing, so we don't actually need so many for that. And also it just requires normal silicon, and it doesn't even require the same machine, so we have made too many, but that's alright, they're very cheap. This is what our basic inscriber setup is going to look like. So we have an inscriber that makes logic process presses. We'll have one for these other two processors, which are the calculation processor and the engineering processor, with pure certus and diamond respectively. We have a silicon press, which makes silicon inscriber processor parts, and then we have redstone here. This will all go into the inscriber, which will then make the processor, and then it will output here. So we'll have two more of these, and it will help automatically make the processors for us. I just need to add power. And with power, we are automatically making the logic circuits, which are then outputting into here when they are done. So we'll just wait a second for that to happen. Oh yeah, this won't happen until I take this out. So we'll put this in here, and now they should automatically output. And we have logic processors automated. A bit of tidying up later, and we now have automated logic, engineering, and calculation processors ready to start with AE2. To be able to get all the ingredients to start the AE2 setup, we need to do some mining in the Nether. So we're going to make the builder now to make a quarry to be able to easily mine the cobalt, the ardite, and the netherite that we need in the Nether to be able to make some ME controllers. We'll need quite a lot of these, that's why I'm going to bulk make them, which is why we need to do this sort of automatic mining. So this is a recipe. The only things we don't really have are these dried bricks, which will take some drying on the drying rack, but it shouldn't be too hard. To get power to the quarry in the Nether, we're going to use flux plugs, which requires something called flux. And to get that is you put redstone underneath an obsidian block, left click, and we get flux. This can be used to make the flux points, which transfers the energy, and the flux plugs, which collects the energy. So we can connect these to our energy cells and have wireless energy. And this is the builder. And to use the builder, we need to get a quarry shape card, and this will allow us to actually run the quarry. I think we'll be doing, a normal dirt quarry instead of a clearing quarry, and I think if we can, I might make it a silk quarry. Then all the items are silk touched and the processing can be a bit simpler. The other option is a fortune quarry as well, so I'll just try and decide which one I fancy doing. And we have our silk quarry card, which is the one I decided to go for. I just think it's a bit better than the fortune quarry. So after we get the flux plugs, we'll be able to put this into the Nether. So I've made the flux plug, so if I attach this to an energy cell, I am not sure which one would be the best to use. Maybe this one over here. So if I attach that there, it should connect, and then if we select a network, not sure how to do that, create a new network. Oh, here we go. Just have my own network and click create, and can just put it on that network. I'm setting up the quarry. I've made it as big as possible, and I've offset it by 1,000 blocks, so hopefully it's not going to cause any trouble. I might actually change that to 2,000 just in case. And if I insert that into here, when we start it, it should start mining. I think I should be able to add a filter for certain things. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I think I can make a filter from RF Tools, a filter module. So I'm going to make that because we don't want everything out of this. So yeah, now we have a filter module, we should be able to whitelist certain items. So I'm going to wait for a minute because obviously we don't have the items to whitelist. So now we just need a crate on top which should store the items and a lever to start this off. Now I just need to connect the flux point, which is already on my network. I put chunk loading on, so if I turn it on, hopefully we're not using too much power. But oh yes, it's not voiding the netherrack for some reason. It said to void it on here. But yeah, now we're getting ardite, so we're going to wait until we get the ores that we want, and then we will add them to the filter. So I've just quickly made a little area to put some of the AE2 stuff. This is just behind the base, just over here. I'll make the path look a bit better later. This is just temporary. So it's just out here. I wanted it close by to this area because this is where I want my terminal, where the crates are at the moment. So it's semi-recessed into the mountain with some clear black stained glass above it. I like being able to see into it from above. And if we just come down with this elevator, we come into the main area. So I'm probably going to put the controller in the middle. These areas that are recessed at the moment are reserved for some drives. I don't think we'll need 18 right now, but we have the space for them. Then I'll probably put some crafting crafting CPUs here, potentially in these little sections, and also the auto crafting interfaces with the molecular assemblers can go in these areas. I like these lamps. I thought it was nice to add a bit of color down here since the stone is pretty dark, and so is the floor, which is just wooden path from Blood Magic, which has EMC as well. But yeah, I thought this was a nice little area. It's nice and bright and should do well for AE. I did actually put this underneath the base, like underneath the house, but I think this area looks better and it's big enough and even enough for the needs that we want. So I'll get on with making the ME controllers. The quarry is doing very well, set up on the roof of the Nether. I've just had it uploading while I've been building. So yeah, we've got plenty of stuff, tons of pyrite, cinnabar, emberstone, a couple of bees. We won't get any more bees because I filtered it now. Tons of dimensional shard or draconium, sphalerite. So yeah, we're doing pretty well. Got enough ardite and cobalt to last us ages. Netherite's not the highest production, but it's all pretty good. Eventually we want to get into environmental tech, which has void miners, which allows you to just mine the void instead of actual blocks. But to get started in that, we need to make litherite, which, I mean, we've got enough red matter. It's mainly the uranium. So once we set up the quarry in the overworld or the deep dark, probably the deep dark now, we'll get enough uranium to be able to start making the litherite crystals. I think we need, for the tier 1 void miner, we need 4 blocks. So really it shouldn't be too difficult. We just need to get more uranium, which comes with the cost of radiation. I'm not sure what these botanic ones are. They don't seem to have a recipe, so... Oh no, they do. Don't know why I didn't think they had a recipe. I'm not sure what the difference is between these ones. Seem to be made the exact same, apart from this is a chorus flower instead of a block of diamonds. So we'll get to that, but this is probably the main mod for quarrying eventually, so we'll set up the builder for now. Once we've got the AE system going, then we'll be able to begin quarrying for overworld resources. It's been a little while later because I've been waiting for the chipsets to be made, and we have done some things from the base. For one, I've improved the infusion altar area, so it's now in a little sealed building instead of just being out in the open. I have added some colour and I've added an orb on top of it, and this is liquid chorus, which I am currently making, so it's going to take a long time to actually fill the orb in, but I think when it's done it'll look pretty good. If this does cause lag, I will change it to something else, something more solid, but for now it seems to be fine, and the animations are off, so I can't imagine it causing too much of a problem. And then the other thing I have done is over here, and this is going to be an Inferium essence farm. We have quite a lot of it anyway from the mob farm, but if I want to get into seeds, which I do, then this will be very useful as a base. None of the other farms will be this big, but Inferium is quite essential to make any of the mystical agriculture seeds. If we have a look, mystical, yeah, look, there's loads and loads of different seeds that we can make. So it's good for us to be able to have enough Inferium to be able to do this, and also to make the things like the master infusion ritual and stuff like that. I was just coming back from the Nether. My portal always spawns me over here, and I found this thing. I don't know what it is, so it doesn't seem to do much damage, whatever it is. This is my revenge for killing the spirit tree. Well, it's dead. Don't really know what it was. Maybe it was meant to do more damage than that or something. And it's dropped stuff from the Betweenlands. So we've got some masks and some spirit tree saplings. So yeah, so I don't really know what that was about. I'm still waiting for some of the chipsets to make for the ME controllers. I want to be able to teleport back to my base when we've gone far away, and one way to do that is by using RF tools with the matter transmitter, the matter receiver, and the charge porter. And these shouldn't be too hard to make. We have world thread from when we close that rift, so that's pretty easy, and then we just need to make a charge porter. I think we should have enough world thread. I'm not sure if we have enough ascended jades because I did use a lot of them for quartz fiber, so I'll see if we can make this, and if we can, it'll be very useful. I did have to go get another jade, so that didn't take too long. So I have one matter transmitter, one matter receiver, one charged porter, and we'll just upgrade that to an advanced charge porter. I've charged the advanced porter, and if I right click on this matter receiver, it should be added. So if yes, it says home destination, which is here. I've just put it here because there was a power cable around here. So if I, for example, go flying over this way, oops, kept getting caught in the trees. So yeah, if I go over here and then right click, get teleported straight back home, and it doesn't use that much power to teleport you back. I'm also tempted to get into a bit more bee breeding, and that is because if we want to get into mystical agriculture, we want to also get into agricraft, and agricraft gives you the ability to 10-10-10 seeds, which means the seeds will grow faster and produce more. There is one way to very easily 10-10-10 seeds. So if I look at these Inferium seeds, to be able to get them to 10-10-10, all we need to do is put agricultural combs around it, which is a lot quicker than waiting for it to do it in person. because normally you have to put the seed down and let it crossbreed over loads and loads of crop sticks until it becomes 10, 10, 10, and that can take quite a long time, especially in this mod pack, I think. So agricultural combs will do this immediately. And to get the agricultural combs, you need the agricultural princess. It was made like this, which is quite a difficult bee breeding tree, but I think it would actually probably be worth it, and it might be worth getting into it now so we have enough combs ready for when we get into seed. I am still waiting on some stuff for the ME controllers as well. I haven't forgotten about it. I'm just doing some other projects while we're waiting. We now have 64 energy acceptors. After lots of waiting and lots of bulk crafting, we now have 64 ME controllers. Okay, I'm genuinely convinced I made about 4 stacks of ME cable, but I can't find them anywhere, not in a single location, not in any chest around the map, absolutely nowhere. So I have no idea where they've gone, but it does mean we're going to need to make some more, which means I need some more ascended jade, which means we need to do some more mining, and I could do it in the overworld, but I'm worried about creating a giant big hole nearby. So I think the best place is to do it in the deep dark like the original plan, but instead of setting up all the auto processing, just make sure I get the ores that I want. So we have some quintuple compressed cobble. It's not making sextuple compressed. This always breaks. It's out of, it's broken because it's out of red matter. I haven't seen it for a little while, so I'll take some out of here. However, we're not quite at the point we need to be able to get what we want. So I'm going to have to fiddle with this until we get the sextuple compressed, septuple, sextuple compressed cobble. I'm actually very stupid. We have 3 sextuple compressed cobblestone right here, so we can make the deep dark portal immediately. I keep thinking I'm losing things, but I think the problem is this thing that highlights what's like the name of things isn't working, because for example, this is the bound blade. I'm searching for bound. It should be showing up, but it's not. I don't know why, but if I did like plastic, it shows up fine. So I don't quite know what's going on with that. Mind you, I still haven't been able to find the ME cable anywhere, so maybe that's just gone for good. I have to take a massive detour for the deep dark, because to make the deep dark portal we need these reagents, which I thought were nice and easy, but we need a greater tartaric gem to make them. To get a greater tartaric gem we need a demon will, which means various other things that I need to do. So I've not played with the demon wills in blood magic before, so this is going to be a bit of a learning curve, so we'll see how it goes. And hopefully we get to the deep dark soon, otherwise I give up and I'm just gonna put it in the overworld. To begin with, we need a demon crucible and a demon crystallizer, one of which has EMC. If I'm correct, I think the idea is I put a petty tartaric gem into the crucible and it should make enough demon will in the air to make a will from the crystallizer. Oh, this is completely empty, so maybe that wasn't enough. I'll empty the other one as well. Yeah, I'm not sure how much this needs. You get different will in the chunk, so we're in 1 chunk for this. I'm going to leave this a little while and see if a crystal begins to form. And not very long later at all, we have a demon will crystal cluster. It's only 0% growth, so I think we need to leave it for a while until it has fully grown, but that's a good start. I dismissed it before, but the fruit of Grisea is actually really good. It fills up your health pretty fast and it's pretty good for blood magic, and it helps not having to keep putting food back in the health bar. So yeah, just nice to know that one of the other Britannia dice things from the Gaia Guardian is actually being useful. You didn't need to wait for it to grow more. I just broke it and it's fine. So yeah, good to know. Now we can make the greater tartaric gem, and it's going to be annoying because I literally just filled this one up. So if I chuck these in, we can have the greater tartaric gem. Oh, it adds a tinker's modifier, so... Oh, is it only this one? I think it's only this big fancy one. Otherwise, oh, it'd be so easy to get full with this. So I need to fill this up a little bit, I think. I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to need to make these. These are quite... Oh, that says 100, and this one says 50, so 150. That shouldn't take me too long to get. A bit of mob killing later, and we should have what we need to be able to make the reagents. Or not. Oh, this one can use the common tartaric gem, so I hope we haven't made this for nothing. I'll be very cross if we made this for nothing. Okay, so we have the phantom bridge reagent, and now we just need the haste reagent, which is stone, sugar, and cookies. So hopefully, I wonder if this works with the common one as well. No. Does it work with the greater? No. Right, I'm not sure how much will this take, so I'm going to go fill in this fully and see if it works then. I've accidentally destroyed the tower that I was using to farm mobs. That's not my fault, I promise. I opened the chest at the top by accident trying to kill something and now it's destroying itself. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is not how I meant to happen. Okay, well, we better go find another battle tower. I'm now using these death tomes instead because they don't really do any damage and they drop less annoying things. Just books and paper and the occasional heart, and there's like a bazillion spawners in here. So hopefully this won't take too long. We're already at about 400. I have filled up my gem. It's got 4,096 will, so hopefully this is enough. Yes, it is enough. So it used like hardly any of it. Obviously this one just needed the better gem. But ta-da, now we have a phantom bridge reagent and a haste reagent. If we take all the ingredients in my inventory, we should now be able to make the portal to the deep dark. I'm going to put the deep dark portal here. Not sure why, just why not really. I also feel bad about destroying all the trees all over the base, so I have my own little tree here. Before we go to the deep dark, we do need to make one preparation, and that is because in the deep dark, the dark hurts you, so we need a way to have automatic torches, and the way to do that is through reliquary. We need the Sojourner's Staff, and we need the Lantern of Paranoia. This absorbs torches, and this places torches everywhere automatically, so it's very, very useful to have in the deep dark, so I'm going to make them. I have made both items, so now if I look for a torch in here and I spam myself some torches, if I shift right click with this staff into the air, it stops absorbing them. So now we will have plenty of torches to be able to be placed by the Lantern of Paranoia. Hopefully this will stop us getting killed in the deep dark by the Groo. Now we are ready to go to the deep dark. And here we are. So most of the cavern's downwards. I don't need to go down quite yet, but I'm just going to make a little hole up here, which we can put the quarry in. You might not even need the tools I made. So if I put the builder down, put this here, it's already connected to the right place. I mean, this shape card's fine. And put the lever on and put a crate on top, like so. Put a lever and turn it on. And eventually we should be able to get ores. So I'm going to leave it running for a little bit so I can know what to whitelist and what to blacklist. I have just discovered a fatal flaw with doing the quarry in the deep dark, and that is that rupee ore and alumite ore and ores like that do not spawn here. So while we are getting some good things, we won't be able to get everything that we need, so I think we're going to have to move the quarry to the overworld for now. I brought it to the overworld. I've offset it by 20,000 blocks, so hopefully we won't come to see any problems that we've caused with it. And the same setup as before, I've just plugged it into here. I might have to move it. I wanted to save the flux plugs if I could. I only wanted that for dimensional stuff, so if I turn this on, we should be getting lots of different ores. So now, okay, we've got a slimy island as well, so fingers crossed 20,000 blocks away isn't going to just look like a giant cube of dirt, but it probably will. Well, 20,000 blocks is a really long way, so hopefully we'll only need to do one run of this quarry through the overworld, and after that we'll be fine. So I think that's a good time to wrap up the video, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.